allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the roll call reflect that all governing board members are present with the exception of Ms. Annette Sexton Ruiz, and both of the members of cabinet are present. I want to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting and remind the audience of the request to address board cards that must be completed and submitted to the board secretary, Ms. Hilda Juarez, if they wish to speak to an agenda item. Board policy provides for 2 cards, white cards, which are to be submitted in order to speak on a specific agenda item, and blue cards that are to be submitted to speak during public comments. Policy states that there is a 5-minute maximum time limit per speaker. Due to the open meeting law, board members are not allowed to address items that are not on the agenda. If you do not want to address the board, but you wish to give your comments in writing, you can do so on a goldenrod sheet, and all members will receive a copy. Do I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
I move the governing board approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Approval of meeting minutes. Is there a motion for the regular board meeting held January 22nd?
I move the governing board approve the minutes as submitted.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The meeting minutes are approved for the regular meeting on January 22nd. For the special board meeting on January 22nd, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I move the governing board approve the minutes as submitted. Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The special board meeting minutes are approved. Public comments. I have a few cards. I would like to first call on Mr. Sean Hannafin from Gateway School.
Good evening, members of the governing board. It's kind of a unique situation. Over the last year, Gateway has really spearheaded, I'm sorry, Sean Hannafin, Principal at Gateway Elementary School. Over the last year, Gateway has really spearheaded an anti-bullying campaign, spearheaded by Mr. Steve Wood and our safety committee. And while I was at leadership 2 weeks ago, I received an email from Mr. Wood stating that Miss Natalie Puentes, who's sitting in front, sitting in front, was involved in an incident of bullying on the bus. She was not directly involved in it, but she took the initiative to stand up to the bus and say, "This is not right. Would you want someone to do this to you?" And was it a 4th grader, Natalie? 7th grade boy walked him home off the bus. And I just want to kind of honor her with some special recognition beyond just what we do at school. So at this time, I'd like to honor Miss Natalie Puentes and her mother, Cora Guzman. Come on. So we made her a certificate for an anti-bully award. Another one will go in our front office, recognize her also, so congratulations. Very nice. H&J Trophies found out about it and wanted to provide a medal for her. She didn't know that I was kind of pushing her a little last week to find out what her favorite restaurant is, and it's Olive Garden. So Olive Garden donated a gift certificate for a free dinner. So congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. I have a few more. The next is Jenny Kaiser.
Yes.
Ms. Kaiser, please introduce yourself, and you have up to 5 minutes.
Sure.
My name is Jenny Kaiser, and I reside at 1832 East Rovey Avenue, and I have a kindergartner in the foreign language immersion program at Biltmore Prep. And I'm here this evening just to share my thoughts on keeping both the traditional and the immersion program at Biltmore Prep. I have been thrilled thus far with my son's experience in the immersion program and the academics at the school. When I was looking for a school for my son last year, I'd heard great things about the school and the immersion program. I went to the kindergarten information session last year. I arranged a visit to the school, which they provided for me, and I did research online. And part of the reason I chose Biltmore Prep was because I knew that if my son wasn't successful in the immersion program, that he could still remain at the school and perhaps be in the traditional classroom if it was necessary the following year. As a parent of a kindergartner, I was unsure if he would feel successful or if he would be frustrated. You know, I don't know. He did well, but I didn't really know. And so, especially in such an innovative program, and so I had peace of mind knowing that I had other options besides just the FLY program. As a parent, I believe it's important to have options for children that are going to help them achieve their greatest potential, and I can't imagine closing doors to children who don't fit with a particular program or who just wish to not participate in the immersion program. I have a daughter currently in the 3rd grade, and she attends my neighborhood school, which is in the Madison district, and I'm considering and kind of encouraging her, if not pushing her, to bring her to the school as well, and I would hope there'd be a place for her to attend. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is a Tim Brink, I believe it is. I might be reading that wrong. Please introduce yourself, and you have up to 5 minutes to address the board.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Tim Brink. I live at 2446 East Cherry Lynn Road within the Creighton district boundaries. I'm here as a concerned parent to also speak out against this elitist agenda that's attempting to divide Biltmore Preparatory Academy. As you well know, public schools operate under a difficult yet wonderful burden which requires that they educate each and every child which walks through their doors. Biltmore Prep is a public school and it serves a diverse community of families. I find it unconscionable that a splinter group feels that they can elevate their agenda above the needs of the community. I chose Biltmore Traditional Academy for my eldest son when he entered 4th grade, the same year my younger son entered kindergarten, and I chose to enroll him in the FLY program. I have been thrilled with both of these programs, yet never once has the idea entered my head that these existed as separate entities. The administrators, teachers, parents, and students represent one school and one common purpose: to educate our children. As a parent with a child in each program, I also feel I have a unique perspective, as I've had the opportunity to get to know teachers, parents, and students across the campus. And I can tell you with certainty that the only divisiveness that exists on this school has been constructed by the individuals responsible for this proposal. I would think that every parent whose child is enrolled at Biltmore Prep would be ecstatic that Biltmore Prep has achieved the grade of A under Arizona's new school grading system. An A achieved in large part through the growth and test scores of the students in the traditional program. I can understand dismay at a failing school, but how anyone without some agenda would want to disrupt a successful entity, I cannot understand. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. The next speaker that I have is Mr. David Zook. Please introduce yourself, and you have up to 5 minutes to address the board.
Hello, Governing Board. My name is David Zook. I reside at 3517 East Meadowbrook here in Phoenix. Have a 4th grader at Biltmore Prep in the traditional track. Have a 1st grader in the FLY program at Biltmore. I understand that you guys are going to be doing a study session this Saturday, and this is going to be one of the things on the agenda. There's just a discussion on the possibility of making Biltmore a FLY-only school. There's several, and when I heard about this, there's several things that crossed my mind. First, 5 years ago, the board adopted a neighborhood school policy as a model. This makes sense for the district. It's good fiscal stewardship. It makes sense for the parents. There are many parents who now are more involved in their local neighborhood schools than as they were being transported across district, because many of those parents didn't have transportation to get to the APTT meetings and the like. This makes sense for the kids. It builds better relationships because neighborhood kids go to neighborhood schools. It makes sense for the community because it creates a greater sense of community. We've been down this road before. 5 years ago, I was on a committee along with Carl and Marshawn. Is Sean still here? And Arnie. When we were investigating whether or not to make, Squaw Peak at the time into a traditional academy. We looked at Madison, we looked at Alhambra, we looked at the Phoenix Elementary School, one in Phoenix Elementary School. They're all exclusive kind of magnet programs. And that was very attractive to me. At first, I'm like, well, let's just make Squaw Peak a magnet program. This would be awesome. And then we began to investigate, we began to get community feedback, and the community feedback at the time was largely against that. And now I begin to see the wisdom of that every child should, because we're public schools, should have the right to attend their neighborhood public school. With open enrollment, I think that the board needs to let the market dictate which programs to either create, expand, or jettison. One of my concerns is what happens if this foreign language immersion is a fad? 6, 7, 8 years down the road and less people begin to enroll their kids in that. Then the board has to make another decision in order to change the program, or we might be right back here talking about it again. It's already been addressed that the school was an underperforming school, which was the state's lowest rating 5 years ago. Now it has an A rating. Albeit 25% of that grade is the improvement in scores, understand that. But that was all under the traditional track kids. The fly kids, this is the first year that the fly kids will be able to participate in names. My understanding there's 40 to 50 of those kids who will do that. So I expect the score to continue to rise. And lastly, I just want to remind the board that they have a constitutional obligation to the citizens within the district. We love the citizens outside of the district to attend our schools, love them to death. They've got great ideas, they've got great values, all of that. But when it comes down to it, the citizens of this district elected you guys. And I would just ask that you would consider that as you evaluate these proposals. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zook. I have one more card, which is Tricia Warren. Will you please introduce yourself, and you have up to 5 minutes to address the board.
Thank you. My name is Tricia Warren, and I've lived in the Biltmore Prep attendance area for 26 years, about 1 block from the school. I live at 4509 North 35th Street, and I would like to speak about the proposed changes that we've been addressing the last few minutes. I have 2 children that graduated from then Squaw Peak School, and 2 more currently in the 3rd grade FLI program. I received a phone call a few days ago from a Biltmore Prep parent who was in tears. She had heard some other parents at the school talking about how Biltmore Prep was going to change to admit FLI students only. This particular parent has 2 students at the school, both in the upper grades, which are not part of the FLI program. She asked me if she was going to have to start searching for another school for her children. I've stood at this podium many times before to fight for the development of neighborhood schools, which by definition is a school in which most of the student population comes from the immediate geographic area which the school is located. In the past 17 years, I've seen our schools go from thriving neighborhood gathering centers to a school that more than 60% of the students were bused. As we lost our neighborhood school status, we also lost several good families to other districts. At that time, the district spent a lot of money, this was about 5 years ago, to survey the community to determine how they could have retained those students and also attract new students. One of the many issues was the feeling of having a true neighborhood school and to eliminate the busing. We finally achieved what we set out to do more than 5 years ago. The school is growing again and families are coming back. I am one of those families. When my oldest son graduated from Squaw Peak in 2009, I had no intention of bringing my 4-year-old twins to this district. As I worked for the changes needed and saw that the district was committed to bringing Biltmore Prep back to a neighborhood school, I came back. The FLI program is a valuable asset to our community, and we need to continue to nurture that program and look for ways to improve what has already been started. However, not at the expense of our neighbors who may choose a traditional track program. In addition, one of the benefits of having a K-8 school is to keep families together attending the same school. The FLI program may be perfect for one child in a family, but another child in the same family might need the traditional program. How can we expect our children to build communities within the classrooms if we are dividing the community neighborhood at large? I love the diversity of our school and the students that attend. That is one of the reasons I chose Biltmore Prep in this district, is because of the diversity. I would like to see the FLI program continue in partnership with the traditional track program and work towards ways that we can integrate these two groups of students and work harmoniously together as a neighborhood community school. Thank you.
We will now go into the superintendent's report. Dr. Boyd.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending the governing board meeting this evening. As all of you well know, that Creighton District has declared a vacancy for the district governing board. And Arizona Revised Statute 15-302 gives the county superintendent of schools authority to appoint community members to fill vacancies on school district governing boards within the county. While the county superintendent has the authority and responsibility to make final appointment decisions, local communities have been empowered to participate in the selection through a set of well-defined collaborative processes and procedures that result in nominations of individuals for appointment that are in the best interest of the local community. We are in the process of implementing timelines and processes that were established based on these guidelines. And I would like to share with you an important event that is part of the process of the nomination and selection of the appointment to this vacant seat. The Creighton School District will be holding a governing board candidates forum to introduce the people who applied for the governing board vacancy. When? It's this Thursday, February 7th, and where is Monte Vista School Multipurpose Room, and that's at 3501 East Osborne Road. The time is from 6 to 7:30, and I'm asking all of you to come and to share this information with your neighbors, to be introduced to the Creighton School District candidates, and people who attend this meeting will have the opportunity to submit questions to all the candidates. We do have more information on our website, and you're certainly welcome to take a look there. But again, an invitation to all of you to attend this very important forum on a Thursday evening, 6 o'clock, Monte Vista School. Secondly, on Saturday, February 9th, we are going to have a governing board study session in this room, beginning at 8:30 and adjourning at 4 o'clock. There are important topics on the agenda for our governing board members who will be having a study session. This study session is open to the public, and we hope that all of you, again, tell your neighbors, and that you will join us at that meeting on Saturday. There are important things happening in Creighton School District, and we invite you to participate.
Thank you, Dr. Boyle. And we have a student recognition on the agenda.
Okay. This is very exciting news. During the month of March 2012, the Azella Art Contest was announced. It was open to all English language learners in the state of Arizona. And if selected, the artwork would be used for the revised Arizona English Language Learner Assessment document covers. The Arizona Department of Ed received hundreds of entries from schools all over the state. A group of personnel from the Arizona Department of Ed made the first cuts to narrow the field down to 30 or 40 entries per grade level. OLS selected a committee of people to vote on the entries, and winners were announced at the Pell meeting of November 2012. Winning entries were on display at the OLS conference in Tucson, Arizona in December. We have a winner. When Gerardo Pardo was in kindergarten last year at Excelencia School, he submitted a piece of artwork with the help of his teacher, Miss Finch. We are very proud that his piece of art was selected to be the cover of the kindergarten Azella test statewide. Now, all the Azella kinder tests used in the state will have Gerardo's artwork on the cover, and his art piece will be on display in our district office and at Excelencia School, and his parents can even take one poster home for their living room. So I would like to invite the principal of Excelencia School to come forward, and we did invite the family. Do you know if the family's
They're right here?
Very good. Would you please come up? Gerardo.
Governing board, the art teacher was actually who submitted this, and our art teacher is Ms. Schaaf, so we want to make sure that she can attend this too, and she's here as well.
Okay, very good.
Did you want to speak at all? Or we'll just, okay. Gerardo, very
and
good.
Here is the winning poster for kindergarten.
And also for the school.
Sorry.
Congratulations, Lisa.
Okay, and where is Gerardo's? Okay, this is for your family, for your house. You're welcome. Congratulations.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks.
Shake.
Do you want just the board want to come and shake hands? This is the first time I've done this as board president. I get up and move, they don't follow.
We are meeting once. Nice job, Chief.
Congratulations again. We're always honored when we have a statewide award won by anyone in Creighton, and especially our students.
So that was my good news, and that's the superintendent's report.
We are up to the approval of consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
I move the governing board approve consent agenda items A through E in accordance with policy BEDP-R.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda items are approved. Education Services, Human Growth and Development.